on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1235. That's right, episode number 1235 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live today from Red Morton Park. Today, we're going to do our very best to just try and chill and answer any of your questions as long as they're reasonable and platform safe, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Dawn is in the house first. Hey, babe. ODN. Hi, Eli. Hi, Dawn. Hey, ODN TV. How are you doing? Any questions? As long as they're platform safe and they're court safe. Two things I care for. Platform safe from YouTube enforcement and court safe. So that way that Judge Stacy doesn't scold me. Anyway, I hope you've all had a great day. I did a live stream earlier here on GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. It was a really good show. It clears a lot of things up, up to the minute, more correcting the record regarding some people I've been dealing with out here on YouTube for years, including one that I'm in court with. I'm probably going to say a few things throughout this show regarding things that have happened since that point, but you folks can pretty much ask whatever you'd like. Hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. Lewis is here, and so is the broski. Thank you. Well, that lady was very nice. She went around and allowed me to do my show. Wonderful. I was trying to go around, and she did the same thing. You see, those are nice, reasonable people. I respect that, right? I respect reasonable people. I just have difficulty dealing. Well, it's not difficulty. It's just frustrating dealing with unreasonable people, right? So yeah, check out the stream from earlier that I did from the studio here on GNA2. And it'll catch you up to date. If you're new here, it may not make sense if you don't know enough of the backstory, but most people know the backstory. So interesting here today. I want to start off this show by saying this. How many of you out there, and I know there are only a few of you here right now, but how many of you out there are remember these? Sorry, how many of you out there remember the phrase, "I know you are, but what am I?" I know you are, but what am I? Right? Because this group of people that I've been dealing with out here on YouTube, especially their leader, the defendant in my case. And it's like their entire group is like that, even other creators that they work together with, right? I like to call it acting in concert. That's the professional legal term, right? It seems like every time you debunk them on something that they're just flat out lying about, right? They come back, and they keep coming back, and they keep coming back, and they keep coming back, and they just have an answer to everything. Good, bad, indifferent, right, wrong, up, down, left, right. And it just reminded me of that phrase, right? I know you are, but what am I? I learned that in grammar school. I was just thinking about that today. Babe, you remember that? ODN, you remember that? Lewis Fuller, you remember that? And the phrase, means this. If somebody is calling you names, it's basically saying that they're projecting their insecurities onto you. So if somebody calls you, stupid, for example, you say, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? And with this group of people, that's what it boils down to. They keep coming at you no matter what. It's like just can't stop. They're lacking self-control, right? So it always seems like us reasonable people over here have to always at least think in our head, maybe say out loud, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? Someone's massively triggered because their body. Massive triggering today. I don't blame him. I mean, someone's massively triggered. So I know you are, but what am I, right? Every time these people now, respond to something I say that makes sense, right, and corrects the record properly, if they keep trying to amp it up and try to flip it when I've proven otherwise, I'm just going to say, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I, right? So that's the first part right here, right? Now, the next part, we got a lot of people at the park coming from everywhere. Ooh, okay. The next part. A lot of people don't seem to understand what hyperbole is. I didn't fully understand the term. I knew the action. I just didn't know it was called hyperbole, right? So a lot of people seem to think that certain things that you say, like if you talk about someone's mother in a joking way, right? And your audience laughs at it. The difference is this. Something that is laughed at is typically hyperbole. Something that is taken seriously is not, right? But here's the thing. How many of you out there remember the yo mama jokes, right? Put a one in the chat if you remember the yo mama jokes, right? Back in the 80s and 90s, that was the big thing. Like, yo mama drink apple juice, right? Yo mama this and that, right? How many of you come on, someone give me some love in here. What made you realize that ignoring this behavior was no longer an option? Lewis says 1. What made me realize that is that it's not going to change if I don't. And just because I'm in court doesn't mean it's going to stop. I sued, and it only made it worse. Suing made it worse. So I felt like I had no choice. Audience says 1, right? So there are a lot of people coming everywhere today. That's not a real number, Lewis. That's somebody very triggered that's botting. All right, that's a very triggered botter. Those aren't authentic. YouTube will fix them afterwards. But thank you, Lewis. Yeah, ODN, look, like I've been saying all along, the wheels of justice turn slowly, and I understand that. I'll say it again here tonight. The wheels of justice turn slowly. And, because the defendant filed a motion to dismiss along with an anti-slap, which delayed the case. It set back the case, right? I wouldn't say delay. Yeah, maybe you can call it that. It set back the case. The case can't move forward until this motion to dismiss slash anti-slap hearing happens, which is now finally scheduled in April. It'll definitely happen in April, right? So between now and then, or for however long this case lasts, right? We get past the motion to dismiss slash anti-slap. He is so triggered that he wants to bot your stream. You're right. Absolutely. That's when you know someone is super triggered, Lewis. It's unfortunate, you know. But anyway, you know, me sitting around doing nothing about it in the meantime, I mean, this case was filed almost 4 months ago. Doing nothing would continue to further destroy my reputation. There are a lot of people that have reached out to me, and they're very proud of how I'm handling it. I'm not going to mention who they are. And maybe one of these days, some of those people will start to chat publicly and stuff. A lot of people still feel worried about being attacked. A lot of people feel worried about being attacked by that group, so, you know, they're just quietly watching and listening for right now, and maybe at some point they'll come back, but I'm going to respect that. So I hope that answers your question, ODN. I mean, sitting around, you know, not correcting the record only leaves one option for viewers to see what the other side is saying, right? And, you know, they could take that as gospel and then never give us a chance, right? So I had no choice. But yeah, so let's see, what else? I'm going to wait to get past this area because this is like the area where sometimes, or a lot of the times, I get cut off. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. I think we're still good. It looks good here. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. So the interesting thing, right? The interesting thing is this. The lady I referred to in my previous stream as Miss T, right? You know, I use code names here because I just don't want to give them any notoriety. I mean, I could use their first name, no problem. It's safe to do so, but I don't even want to do that. I don't want to give new people the opportunity to find out who they are, even though, hey, they may find out about it on their own. That's on them. I just don't want to make it easy, right? And I don't want YouTube to tie me in with their channels. That's been very helpful too, right? But let me see. But the Miss T lady made a posting after I put a posting out, basically more so for the defendant, because a lot of people are saying that my lady was talking about some things or sharing some things about her personal life that neither one of us recall her saying. And here's the thing. If people want to, you know, do a fair use review of those videos and actually do it under fair use, and if any of those things were said, we will be glad to address them at that time. And if not, then hey, stop saying things that aren't true, right? Now, here's the thing. These some of these things are defamatory towards Don, right? But you know, it's not like Don is about to file a defamation suit on these people, and a lot of the things that are being said about Don are being said through sock accounts, right? So until we hit discovery and those can be subpoenaed from the platform YouTube, right, through a court order that I would request from Judge Stacy, we can't assume who they are. We can, but it's like it's not going to do us any good, right? It's not going to do us any good to assume, right? So when it comes to people in the chat or the comment section saying things about Don, we're not worried about that. Now, when the defendant is actually doing it, here's the thing. I could bring that up in the circuit civil case that he's, smearing my partner, right? And I could use that as conduct, evidence, right? Now, Dawn is not a party of the case. She can't get relief for it, but I can use anything as a pattern of conduct, right? So can he. But here's what's most important, right? What's most important is, what did Dawn actually say, right? And even if she said some of those things or all of those things that they're saying, which we're not saying that's true because neither Dawn or I recall that. And I know me, I would never have left something out there on YouTube like that, even if Dawn slipped saying something like that. But Dawn never did any of those things. She may have talked about, other friends of hers and that, but her and her husband at that time, never did anything like that, right? But here's the thing. Hey, put out the video, right? Do a video under fair use. Take 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of the video. Clip it out. Do a reaction video, pre-recorded. You don't have to do it live. You'll do it live because you folks like the live engagement to solicit donations, right? Whatever. Do what you got to do. And at that time, we'll take your copy and verify it along with ours, and if it's exact, then we'll respond to it. 8 years of stealing content just to audition for Exhibit A. That's well said. All right? That's just well said. ODN, your former friend that was never your friend is in here trolling us and botting us tonight because he's bored again, right? Because he heard you talking about him the other day and now he's triggered, right? Pathetic. Damn, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, you gotta trigger a finger. Oh yeah, well she's fast. Yeah, she's very fast. I thought I said last things about him. What do you mean last things? You thought you said last things about him. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Can you please put it into a more clearer context, ODN? Oh, nice. Okay. It was typo. Okay. Yeah, you didn't say anything wrong. It's just he's probably bored and, at least it shows it's not the defendant. It shows that he's still engaged. He's probably always been engaged, But, yeah, anyway, Yeah, Miss T, if you want to put stuff out there, you know what? We'll verify it, and let's say what you put out there is 100% true. We'll address it at that time. That's all. What's the big deal? Everyone's made mistakes, right? 4 years ago, Don was in a different place, and so was I. And we've grown and learned from the situation, and you folks haven't, right? You folks are still the same, right? We've learned from our mistakes, and we've moved on. You folks haven't. So what I'm saying is, put the stuff out there, do what you got to do, and we'll just correct the record if and when the time comes. Okay? That's it. Stop making community posting threats. I don't make threats on my community posts. I just put out there and say, hey, look, don't just talk about it, be about it, right? You folks like to talk about it. You like to make every posting sound threatening, right? Because it typically is going to capture the intrigue of your audience. But I'll tell you what, Miss T, if you haven't noticed, the engagement on your channel is non-existent. I'm waiting. There's somebody coming. Okay. The engagement on your channel, and I'm not saying mine gets a lot, but see, the difference is this. My engagement has been struggling for years because of what the defendant's been doing. Right? My engagement hasn't changed in years. Right? Your engagement was really good at the peak of, your part of the smear campaign on me, right? But now, you're making these postings, and the only people I'm seeing comment are either the defendant and maybe his girlfriend at times, and every now and then you might get a few of the defendant's people. But most of these people right now, they're tired of the story. They're tired of the same old thing. And they're also seeing the truth through my channel here, GNA2. Whether they like me or not, they're seeing the truth, and they're saying, hey, we may not like Eli, but, facts are facts. It is what it is. And this is really stupid, right? Huh. Okay. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right. We are back live. We are back live. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. I'm sorry about that. Put a 1 in the chat. Thank you, babe. Thank you, babe. Put a 1 in the chat if you can. Yeah, you got it. Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, I'm so sorry. I had to take care of something real quick. Lots of people are coming from everywhere today. A lot of people walking today. It's all good. Yeah, I tell you what. When people try to play games, they can play all the games that they want, right? When people try to play games and they're so obvious with their games, there are always some wonderful countermeasures you can take, right? Now, I want to make an announcement here tonight that I'm going to be changing up some of our members only content here on the channel. And a lot of the videos, a lot of the past videos that were available are no longer going to be available. There will be a new set of members only videos that I will be putting to members only here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put to members only some other content, and we're just going to leave it at that. So I'm just going to let you know there's a structure change in place. And if you hear people out there that are complaining about it, then that's on them. I'm sure you're going to hear some people complain about that, right? Give me a second. Let me check something real quick. All right, put a 1 to Chad. You can hear me clearly and see me clearly. All right, thank you. And I just want to make it very clear that members only content here on this channel can change at any time without notice. And whenever you purchase a membership, as it's stated, this is a 100% sponsorship/donation. That doesn't include content. It's a sponsorship/donation. Occasional content may or may not be available, right? So anyone that purchases a membership, realize that the primary purpose is a donation. No content is guaranteed. So, yeah, that is that. That is that. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to be good for the rest of the show now. Put a 1 in the chat. Thank you, babe. Respectfully, maturely, professionally. Miss T. Yeah, you always do what you want to do, right? And you think that you're a few steps ahead of me. Here's the thing, Miss T. I'm 100 steps ahead of all of you. And if you don't think I know what you were plotting, and unless you go publicly and admit what you did and why you did it, which will more so prove my point, and I will publicly call you out on that, then you just got caught. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? But just understand one thing. Let me make it very clear once again to everybody out there that my channel memberships are 100% sponsorship/donation. No content is guaranteed. Now, I'm going to be switching up the content and adding things to members only. So there will be some content available, but it is not something that I offer. Clearly stated. Yeah, it's amazing how far some people will go when they're really, really triggered and they're looking for stuff that I guess maybe they said they had. Maybe you have some of it, but not all of it, right? You wanted all of it because you wanted to exploit it, right? You wanted all of it so you could exploit it and screen record it and exploit it, right? Or try to run a transcript program. Nah, that wouldn't work. You're not as smart as you try to appear. Just saying, right? Yeah, to the G&A executive team, I will let you know behind the scenes what's happening. I'm not going to talk about it publicly, but let's just say somebody got caught in real time. Whew. Yeah, they are, Lewis. They are. Yep. Yeah. What other questions do you folks have? Because I'm in a cool, calm, and collected mood. Right? Lucky for me that pretty much anything I can access from my laptop, I can access through an app on my phone, right? Thought you could sneak one past me, huh? But you'll never hear me talk about it publicly, specifically, but you know what I'm talking about to the person out there. And if you do talk about it publicly, then you're going to be associating yourself with an account that will just prove you're a troll. Or you're trolling as well, right? So pretty much, if you admit what that sock account is on one of your main accounts as your content, then you're exposing yourself. So you're not going to do that. And if you do, granted, more for me to talk about, right? So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now because you're really mad. You're really mad that you didn't get what you want, right? And I gave you exactly what I promised. Nothing you can do about that, right? Nothing you can do about that, right? But don't think any one of you on that side is smarter than me. And I'm not even trying to flex. I just know how you people are and how you work, right? And here's the thing. There's nothing to hide. But I'm not going to give you folks more to exploit content for supposedly you're working on building a brand new audience, right? Tia, yeah, they must. None of you know what I'm talking about right now. Tia and Odian and Dawn and Sandra, I will let you know in the back, behind the scenes. And Lewis, I'll let you know as soon as I can as well. And anyone else, right? Not going to give them something that, well, they wouldn't even use it against me because then they would have to admit that they're a sock account, right? They tried to fly in under the radar. They tried to fly in under the radar, right? I'll tell you what, I mean, in a little bit tonight when I go home, I'll add some other material to that section. So it's all good. Ah. These people are exposing themselves in real time, right? They're exposing themselves in real time. I don't really have much more to say. I'll tell you, I'm pretty satisfied right now. I'm pretty satisfied right now. I mean, I could end this right now and go offline and just walk another couple laps, and I'm good. But I'll keep it here with you folks because I know you folks like to have the chat, and maybe you may have a question for me that I can answer, right? You see, when you do things that get you boxed in, right? You do things to try to be sneaky, right? Because your narrative has completely collapsed, right? And then you need something to keep that narrative going. And you see a gold mine. You see a gold mine. You see a gold mine that you can try to sneak your way into, right? You see a gold mine you try to sneak your way into. And you got shut down at the door. Right? Well, I guess I can say thank you anyway, right? Thank you anyway. You know, when you have reached peace and solace, and you know you're in full control of your life and nothing anyone says or does bothers you, you're at peace. There's not even really much to say. And I don't get me wrong. There's a lot I can talk about. Hey, Angels, how you doing? Happy New Year to you and your family. If I haven't already said it, I think you've been here a few times in the New Year, but I know I've had a lot to talk about. I'm pretty chill tonight, Angels. How are you? How's your New Year going? Oh, and by the way, Miss T, yeah, I really don't care about the fact that you screenshot a comment literally that was only on my channel for 20 minutes and I banned the person. That just goes to show, like, how closely you watch everything. And that's okay, Miss T, you're a big fan. You're a big fan, Miss T, and so is your buddy, the defendant, right? You're both big fans, right? You're big fans in disguise, right? And you don't like the fact that my countermeasures of protecting my name, my likeness, my brand, my reputation, my countermeasures are actually starting to work, ma'am. And I don't think you really like that. I don't. And I think at least now, ma'am, you're not going to be able to keep your promise to other people. Maybe you had promised them some other things coming soon, and I think that's going to be a party poop, right? Now, I'm sure there are some people that still have some screen records out there of certain things, but they don't have everything. You, ma'am, wanted the whole catalog. You're not going to get it. You wanted the whole catalog, and you're not going to get it. I know internally, ma'am, you're really upset and really triggered, but you're not going to fool me. You're not going to fool me. You're also not going to threaten me over how I control my channel and stuff like that. You can try to threaten me all you want. That means absolutely nothing. I'm not scared of your threats, and maybe you'll play it off and act like nothing ever happened, but and hey, I could be wrong that it's you, but I don't think so. Because you were the one that was reactive on your community wall shortly before I went live. So you were already drumming up your next game plan, trying to get the gold mine. So you have content for God knows how long, right? And unfortunately, ma'am, you were shut down at the door. You were. And if it's you and you say something, then we know that it's you on sock account. So either way, you're boxed in on this one, ma'am. So what are you going to do? Admit that you're on a sock account under your real account for content, or keep it quiet and be internally triggered that you tried to pull one on me and I realized that I caught it and stopped it dead in its tracks, right? And no one else here really has any clue what I'm talking about, not even Dawn. She will when I get home, and so will the other executives. And we're going to be laughing in your face. I'm already laughing internally. You see, I'm not showing it, but internally, I'm laughing hysterically like a hyena, ma'am. Like a hyena. Like a laughing hyena. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. All right, we are back live. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Tia says, please smash the thumbs up. Do you feel like the evidence speaks louder than commentary ever could? ODN, that sounds like ChatGPT exactly. I'll answer your question. Just tell me that's a ChatGPT question, because I know, ODN, you got me hooked on ChatGPT, so I know the lingo. I'll answer it, broski. Lewis Fuller says 1. ODN says 1. LOL. It is, bro. Come on, dude. You're the one. Oh, by the way, ODN, my lady Dawn found that Code 3 was released today on Hulu. Right, babe? Hulu? So we're going to watch it tonight because it was no longer free on Amazon when you told us about it. Like no platform had it included in the package. And we figured at some point it would, because we have shit. We got like 6 of them, right? We've got like Netflix, we've got Hulu, we've got Disney Plus. They're going to combine later this year because Disney owns Hulu and ABC and ESPN and all that shit, right? We got Netflix, we got Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Peacock, and HBO Max. And what is the other one? I'm forgetting the other one. I think there's another one. And none of them had it. You had to pay for it. But now we're going to watch it tonight. So let me answer your ChatGPT question. That's great. I'm not making fun of you, dude. I use it religiously now, but I try to spin it in my own words, but do you feel like the evidence speaks louder than commentary ever could? Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the thing. The only reason why I'm talking is because the defendant and his group of people continue to spin things. And when I tell you what they tried to do behind the scenes and how I cut it off at the knees, you'll be even more proud. So, yeah, the evidence does speak louder than commentary ever could. And quite honestly, I don't even want to be talking about this, but they continue to do things that affect me, so hey, I'll have to keep correcting the record. The desperation attempt that they all tried to pull. Somebody tried to pull a desperation, like someone tried to just pull a Hail Mary right now to try to revive things, and they failed miserably, right? They failed miserably. When did it become obvious that their energy was just focused on you? Honestly, I would probably say a little over 5 years ago. It was during a time where I was dealing with some other issues on the platform, and there were some people that clearly explained to me what was going on, like a paid targeted hate attack and smear campaign, right? And then there were other people that told me it's more about clocking in and clocking out. And putting that all together really tremendously helped me. And I'm actually very grateful and thankful to the people that gave me that information, because it really opened up my eyes to what's going on. But I'd say about 5 years ago. Did it ever occur to them that the more they tried, the less credible they looked? Well, that's the whole point of correcting the record. And that's a good question. You're feeding ChatGPT some good stuff, broski, and I appreciate that. But, the more they try to spin the narrative, and the more I correct it, it's going to make them not look wise, right? If they keep doing it, right? The whole point is boxing them in. You box them in any and every way possible, right? And when you box people in by just doing the right things, right? then they really have nowhere left to go. They can still talk about me. This is not about silencing them or anything like that. This is about taking proactive preventative measures, right? Being um, proactively reactive, or doing proper correcting the record streams that some people would call as reaction or reactive streams. Yeah, are they reactions? Technically, yes, but they're not reactions in I'm triggered, so I'm going to go live and call you out on your lies. No, I'm not triggered. I'm just going live because I know when I correct the record, it makes them look cuckoo, and it starts to build more of our credibility back. Does that make sense to you? Was it weird watching them try so hard and still fail? The whole thing's, I mean, to answer your question, ODN, the whole thing's been weird, don't you think? Now, ODN, can you respond to me being yourself and not ChatGPT? Because now you become a robot, ODN. I mean, oh man. On my Fire TV, I have 10 apps that work built into it. Oh, that's awesome. You have the YouTube app, I'm assuming, and you probably have like, Lewis, do you have like Netflix and Hulu? Do you have any of the streaming services? Or do you just have cable or a combination of both? We've got both. We still have full-blown DirecTV, Total Choice Premiere. We got all the HBOs and all that, but we get HBO Max with no commercials included at no extra charge, like free, because we have the Total Choice Premiere package. So that's great. You get a lot of good perks being with DirecTV. I think DirecTV, I've been with them for, Jesus, now probably almost 25 years. When I switched from cable almost 25 years ago. So I love DirecTV is fantastic. You know, we have the HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, and all the stars and Encore channels and the streaming. Like, so, you know, Don and I, we go out, but we like to stay in more so. Like, we'll go out, you know, once a week, sometimes twice a week, but we stay in most nights because, like, we've got better entertainment right on our TV, right? In the living room and in the bedroom. And then we have, you know, the DirecTV HD DVR in the bedroom and living room, so we can just record stuff and just watch it whenever we want without commercials. It saves time. And it saves money too. Like, honestly, like, a lot of people don't understand that, yes, streaming services have gone up in price. But even then, like, let's say you get all the streaming services like we have and you're paying like $100 a month. You go out on one date and you're spending twice that. Then you just cook at home, save money, even grabbing some takeout. It's cheaper than going out, you know. You got to tip, and we still tip, you know, you can still tip, you know, at some places or most places for takeout. But it's not as much as, you know, getting the full dining experience. And we do that every so often, but we love our streaming and we love our DirecTV. Do you think they imagined this would go unnoticed forever? GLM says, shout out to Flex. Absolutely. Hey, GLM. It comes up with some pretty good questions, says ODN TV. GLM, is Flex ever going to come back to YouTube? Is he just like waiting for some time? Is he possibly gonna come back to YouTube, or is he just permanently on Rumble now? But yeah, do you think they imagined this would go unnoticed forever? Oh, by the way, babe, Dawn, start getting that quote, and if you've got one, please. I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. I'm thinking they probably did. I mean, ODN, here's the thing. The defendant probably thinks that he probably thought that I was never going to sue him. He probably always felt shielded from his defamation because he thought I would never sue him because I couldn't afford the attorney or couldn't figure out to do it pro se, right? Would you folks agree that the defendant probably thought he was never going to get sued? Like he mentioned in that video, ODN, that the slam dunk video for evidence purposes only because, it's beyond the statute, but it can be used as a pattern of evidence. You know that 6-year-old clip regarding where he said, well, he acknowledged the slander, and he said I would have to, sue him civilly. Right? I go back and I hear that video every so often, and I'm like, man, the guy's eating his words. Right? Do you think he's eating his words? Flex said maybe he will change his mind later on. He said he said a very derogatory word to YouTube. I don't want to say it because I like YouTube, but I understand why he feels that way. I was trying to tell you folks back then, like, I totally get what you're saying, but you got to be real careful. You got people like Miss T and some other people in the defendant's group. They know exactly how to flag things. They know how to timestamp flag things from their laptops or desktops, flagging certain words at certain timestamps. These people are professional experts at getting videos and channels taken down. That's why you can't give them anything. Right? You can't give them anything, right? You got to go into your stream thinking like you're not going to give them something that they can use platform enforcement rules against you, right? Oh no, I deleted it. I got worried there for a second. Why? Were you thinking you were just... did you think that you were just shut down, GLM? Lewis says, have the YouTube app. I just don't use it because I can't communicate on it. Oh, okay. All right. So Don, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don says, someone who ignores your boundaries isn't confused by them. They're prioritizing their own comfort over your consent. Ignorance is bliss, but the truth will set you free. One more time. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don says, someone who ignores your boundaries isn't confused by them. They're prioritizing their own comfort over your consent. Ignorance is bliss, but the truth will set you free. Amen, babe. Give me one more second here. Well, let me just check one more thing before I come back and wrap things up. Be right back, everyone. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly, please. Thank you for the ones. Tia, ODN, Don. And you don't have to have a converter box with a smart TV. Yeah. No, Don and I, we've got a Samsung TV in the living room, and it has... it uses the Samsung Tizen operating system. It's pretty good. It's not the fastest, but it's not slow either. But we have the Roku Ultra in the bedroom, and it's super fast. And we've got a Sony 40-inch Bravia in there. Like the TV in the bedroom is better than the one in the living room. I've got a 50-inch in the living room. Dawn has a 4K 55-inch TV. My TVs are 1080p. They're still pretty good. There's not a whole lot of 4K programming anyway. And 4K downscales pretty nicely on 1080p TVs. But yeah, that's cool, Lewis. Yeah, by the way, yeah, so Miss T, yeah, you're just never, ever going to go public with what you did, right? It's okay. You don't have to. I mean, it would probably be to your best benefit to not say anything, right? Because either way, you're not going to win, right? Right? Yeah. And if it's not you, Miss T, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you're the one, right? And if you know what I'm talking about and you go public on it, then you're admitting that you use sock accounts, right? If I had to guess, Miss T, now, I'm just guessing. This is my opinion. This is not a factual statement. This is not defamatory. Got to be very clear with you because you like to spin things out of context, right? Right? You like the sleight of hand trick that the defendant likes to use too, just like you try to pull on me with the transcript from GLM's stream earlier today that I debunked on my former stream, my prior stream, I mean, from earlier, not my former, my prior, right? But you know what, Miss T, I like it when you don't get what you want because you try to take things, in my opinion, at least from people out here on YouTube, you try to take things from people to harm them and to benefit yourself, right? I'm sure you have to sit here right now and eat your own words because if you are the one that knows what happened, you'd be the only one. You would be outing yourself by getting triggered about it over your wall and trying to use it for raging content, right? And then trying to accuse me of something else, right? You know, the glorious thing to me is if it is you, and if I had to guess, it probably is. Right now, the best thing for you to do is to zip it like you probably should have done a long time ago, but this is going to force you to zip it. Because if not, you'll be outing yourself, right? That's called being boxed in, Miss T. Boxed in. Just like the defendant is boxed in, right? In the case, you're boxed in, you know, you're boxed in regarding my content, right? You wanted the gold mine, Miss T. You wanted the gold mine. No gold mine for you, Miss T. No gold mine for you. I'm going to go home, spend time with my lady, kick back, watch Code 3 that ODN recommended to us. It's on the top 15 list on Hulu now, right? And you're going to continue to see what are known as diminishing returns, Miss T. Do you know what diminishing returns are? I'm sure you know what the phrase diminishing returns means. It means that you needed something so badly for content, right? And now that you're not going to get it, it's only going to become more and more and more diminishing, right? So executive team, I'm going to send you a brief voice message right when I'm done here in a few minutes. I'm going to send it to the one where we're all in. We have everyone in there, the executive team chat. And then I'll let some other people know in the non-executive team chat, the regular moderators. I'll let them know probably tomorrow. Got a lot of love for all of you. I went offline a few times. It shows 65 minutes here, I think, but I think it's like 63 minutes or 60 minutes or something. I was offline for a few minutes earlier doing something that's called preventative maintenance, right? Got a lot of love for all of you. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.